All right, we are here at the beach today. We're going on a little adventure now. We are gonna take you guys down to downtown LA to show you guys some serious heat as far as jewelry and diamonds go. I'm talking about pieces that are so rare that it's hard to even find things that are even close to comparable on the market being sold today. We've got GIA certified natural pink diamonds that are more saturated than my face if I forget to put on sunblock for the day.
You have all of this extremely saturated pink diamonds. That's as pink as it's gonna get for a round diamond.
Over 10 karat white diamond that's heart shaped and it's bigger than your own eyeball. Insane stuff. And it's time to head down to downtown LA in the jewelry district, show you guys what's up.
Yeah, this is the Diamond District. We're in the main building. So this is the International Jewelry Center. Only jewelers in this building.
Yeah.
16 floors. It's a wide building full of jewelers, hundreds of us. And this whole street, that whole street that way is the Diamond District. You're in the center of downtown LA. This is where like everything happens.
It's time to head out from the beach, grab my machete. It's not that bad. Downtown LA is not that bad. We'll just keep the pocket knife. So Los Angeles attracts a lot of different folks from all over the world. A lot of them attracted to the glitz and the glam that they see on TV and movies and whatnot. And while we're not doing all that today and not trying to accomplish all those big crazy shit, we're gonna see the jewelry equivalent of what it's like hitting it big time on the silver screen.
There are less than 10 necklaces, my guess, that in the world that have ever come like this. So it's super rare, and I don't mean 10 available, I mean like 10 ever sold.
Showing you guys some pieces up close that even some people in the industry have a hard time getting a hold of, especially in the time frame that it takes to be able to get it done and completed for a client. Even if you're in the industry and you do this stuff often, obviously like you do colored stones.
I specialize in it, but most jewelers...
But most people don't.
You can have a jeweler who's been working 50 years and has never seen this.
Yeah.
I would say actually most jewelers won't see this in their career.
So today we get the chance to sit down with our boy Aaron, who helped us put together this package deal for our client with Sean. He specializes in naturally colored diamonds, specifically the pink ones.
Appraised value,
yeah. The appraised value of all the pieces. So the appraised value of all of the set together, which we'll clickbait the hell out of the title on, is 1.6 million for the whole thing.
Correct.
And that's the appraised value of all of the pieces. We're in downtown LA and we got the Leaning Tower of GIA certificates with us. An enormous amount of GIA certificates. So you have 1 bundle, 2 bundles, 3, and 4 for these 4 pieces of very cool jewelry that we're checking out, all in this bundle. We've got an assortment of pink diamonds, a big 10 karat heart-shaped white diamond, which there's very few of these out there.
Yeah.
Only about 1 or 2 in the comparable market out there of this clarity and everything. There's really not much to compare it to. Really. Our boy here specializes in a lot of naturally colored diamonds, mostly pinks and stuff, and which are some of the rarest type of naturally colored stones to come by. Not only are they some of the most valuable naturally colored diamonds on the market, they're some of the most rare, and they're some of the most elusive as far as knowledge that we know of how they come to be in this state.
Yeah, they don't actually know why. They kind of know why, but they don't know exactly why.
Break it down a little bit with the scientific terms you had.
So, I'm no scientist, I'm just a jeweler, but it is something they call plastic deformation. When the diamond is actually becoming a crystal, there's so much pressure that it messes up the crystal structure, and that's why we see that pink like wavelength come through.
To put that into perspective, you might not know how a lot of colored diamonds come to form. That's a very unnatural way. A lot of times you're adding a element to it. Like the yellow diamond that he's got in his pinky here, this is from nitrogen that comes into the diamond formation when it's being formed with the molecules and everything.
Right, like blue is boron.
Boron, yeah. But pinks, they don't really have a true explanation for it. They're still trying to do a lot of research and study for it. So we got a set here of all of pink diamonds. Necklace here, how many inches is this? 18?
So it's 18 inches,
18 inches.
45 stones.
All GIA certificate
stack.
Right here. This
every
stack,
single stone.
and all the center stones, everything.
For just for fancy colors, and we're not talking about actual pinks.
Oh, I heard
it's
like
10,000 to 1. 10,000 to 1 colored.
Yeah.
And then of those colored, like maybe like another couple thousands to 1.
Yeah.
So if you compare pink diamonds to white, you're looking at hundreds of thousands of carats of white diamonds for every single carat of pink, which is nothing. The pinks are in the halo.
Yeah.
Are closer to fancy pink.
Okay.
They aren't the vivid.
And those are vivid.
Those are vivid. Those are so difficult to find in any sort of quantity. I was able to source maybe a carat's worth between the two rings.
Yeah.
To source, 5 or 10 or 20 carats, you're talking about such absurd amounts of money to get a matching. It's just like not feasible.
The amount of work and time that it took to even get those, like that's what that's a lot of what you're paying for. Of just like you had to mine hundreds of thousands of white diamonds to be able to get like. Trying to even comprehend how many years and all the stuff that went in to make this ring like possible to sit here right now is wild.
Yeah.
To be able to do that of a chain this size would be absurd.
Yeah.
So this one, you don't have the vivid pinks.
No, you have fancy pinks,
but they look amazing.
Oh no, they're stunning.
Yeah.
And then for the actual bigger stones in the center, you have all different types of pinks. A variety of pinks from very light up to fancy.
How many cuts of diamonds are featured in this?
Oh, right in the center there you got the very rare marquise. Marquise tends to be the rarest cut for fancy color diamonds. Actually, diamonds in general. Marquise, pairs, radiants, ovals, hearts. You might have about 8 or maybe even 9 different cuts.
That's wild.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Wild.
Yeah.
And to be able to match that in a bracelet with all the different cuts.
Mostly I would say it is Australian material based on the kind of the color hues, but I'm sure it's a mix. It's hard to get so many and put them together.
Yeah.
There are less than 10 necklaces, my guess, that in the world that have ever come like this. So it's super, super rare, and I don't mean 10 available, I mean like 10 ever sold. You don't see these commonly. They typically require a lot of capital to also create one.
Yeah.
So they're no joke. This will not be stocked at your jewelry store.
Yeah.
Your jewelry store is not going to make this and keep them in their stock. Like, it's not going to happen. And even if they wanted to make it, the people they have to know to be able to do this.
You can't really go any crazier than this, pretty much.
It doesn't really get too much crazier, no.
No. The only step above this is like red diamonds. There aren't even enough of red diamonds in the world to make this necklace.
There are not. Of gem quality reds, there are less than 100 ever found.
Yeah. And GIA just means everything in the diamond occurs 100% naturally. There's no tamperment in it. There's no adding of color. There's no HPHT stuff. There's
the stones are natural.
Yeah, 100% natural. They're all, graded accordingly. Then we have a matching bracelet that goes with it. This one being so special and unique as it is, to be able to replicate it also in bracelet form is pretty cool. And like have them together is a fun thing. Also another pink. This is a purplish pink.
Right, so this one is fancy purplish pink. So it's a very high color grade.
Yeah.
Especially for pink. It's very rare to get fancy, and it's big. It's a carat 90, so just shy of 2 carats, which is ginormous for a pink diamond. That's like saying a 20 carat white. That's how rare these are. To get anything over a carat's crazy. 2 carats is unheard of. This is 190. It's right there.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Anything over a carat in pinks is really, you start dealing with some big numbers.
Huge numbers.
And this one's a cool cut too. The purplish pink.
So yeah, it's a radiant.
Cool
it's a beautiful cut. Beautiful long radiant. It's hard to find long shapes. So that's why I was saying like marquee is rare cut in pink. I mean radiant, long radiants are tough to get as well. You're gonna lose a little more weight generally because if you look at most pieces of diamond rough, they're gonna be a little more, they're actually octahedrals, so they're a little more conical. They're like a cone in a cone. So they're more circular. So you typically will make a square cut or a round cut to get the most out of it.
Yeah.
So when you're cutting out a radiant, especially a long one,
you're just losing
you're
more
losing
of that
a little
rough
bit
diamond.
more weight. Yeah, exactly. In these cases, even just a few points is a lot of money.
Yeah.
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 Because they're worth so much per carat.
Yeah, especially like this one's just under 2 carats, so you can imagine probably over 2 carats when they get it rough. So just shaving off that little bit can cost you a lot of money.
Right.
They did it for the integrity of making a cool piece.
Yeah,
essentially,
to make the better, to make
Yeah.
the stone. There's a lot of factors that we look at when we cut a stone.
Yeah.
We want to make sure that it gets, the best color we can get out of it. We also want to make sure it gets the best proportions for brilliance. So there's a lot of things we take into account.
Even the flower design on the.
So that flower design, really cool, really hard to do. Now these are both platinum pieces.
Yeah.
Platinum's a little difficult metal to work with. Really heavy.
One of the
it's
most
brittle.
Yeah.
It's tough
One
to
of the
work
most
with.
difficult. Yeah.
So
you
what?
compare it to like gold and everything as a
Right.
much softer metal, easier to work with, easier to contort and make it do what you want. Platinum
Better
says hell
melt
no.
at a lower temperature, easier to work with. Exactly.
Yeah.
We actually put 2 fancy purplish pink matching stones on the side, both GIS certified, and we made a flower with perfectly matched white pear shapes. So not just like your typical, some people will do flowers just with the round diamonds, which are kind of easy to do with, circular round diamonds, but to do it with pear shapes and to set them to make a match, that is not easy. I had to sort through 1,000 plus little pairs.
And you sorted these like hand by hand?
I did it by hand.
yourself?
Yeah, I did.
Nice.
So I sorted them, and then as I slowly took me an hour or two to reject the ones till I can get a perfectly matched by millimeter, and so that it does fit around the center stone, and it really has to be a perfect puzzle piece.
They are touching the edge here.
You
got the most amount of stone for the amount of metal you had to
We're
work with.
playing with fractions of millimeters.
It's like it's on the edge here. You get the most amount of stones in possible in this ring. Just because of how you did the setting here, and got a little bit of the bigger stone. You cut it a little close. But he just
it's precise,
perfect setting here.
It's very precise.
Good.
It's like
even the top where it kind of drapes over the side, and you can see it's like drilled over the side where it gives this little almost visible part of the diamond. Just shows you how close you're able to get the diamonds to the side, and also it makes it look bigger.
So you're maximizing the amount of diamond coverage.
Yeah.
This is the most you can possibly get without the diamonds coming off the side. So this is diamond. The whole front of this is diamond. Some
people will space them out a little bit, and that just kind of shows that they're not really doing the best job.
This is an expert level setting. This is no joke.
No, some people leave a lot of space in between, and that doesn't even make it shine right. So like you're hitting it with the light, and all of a sudden you're getting reflected with metal instead of stuff that's being refracted back at you. Which, who wants that if you're paying good amounts of money for jewelry? Pink diamonds, you don't really like to say it, but it's kind of an investment. It's there's not very many of them out there. The largest mine in the world, mined them, are closed now. So they're really not finding a lot more of them out there.
Generally the prices of pinks, unlike white diamonds, are very stable and continue to trend upwards, and they have been doing so for the last 20-30 years. We don't see any indications of it going lower. Again, listen, I'm not a banker or a fiduciary or anything, so I can never say, oh, it's an investment.
Yeah,
but
and I don't like using investment. Kind of like watches too. Some people like to say that, like, to buy it as an investment, and really, like, prime example of the iced out Daniel Wellington, which is the exact opposite of it. You just, like, it's nice to have fun with it and buy something that you really actually like and you actually enjoy.
Of course, you have to enjoy it. But the truth is that value-wise, these historically have done really well.
Which is
they are very sought after. They're extremely rare. And then, of course, you touched on the fact that Argyle Mine, the one in Australia, where almost all the pinks came from.
80-something% of all pinks. Right?
Yeah. It was almost 90.
Yeah.
90% of pinks came from this one mine in Australia, and they closed it during the pandemic, and, like, I think it was 21 or 22.
Yeah.
And that's it. So, like, and then on top of it, nowadays, the next area of so little pinks, but still some pinks, was Russia, and we're not even getting those anymore because Russia's closed. So it's like there's no pinks in the market. It's kind of a crazy time for pink,
And then you have the white diamonds. It's a basic color of diamond, but not when you get over 10 carats.
So now we're talking about a big size.
So once you get into the really large, high clarity, good color, you're not really going to be seeing very many people walk around with something that looks anywhere like this, and most of the time it's moissanite or HPHD.
So this is 100% natural.
This is natural.
And
GIA.
what's interesting about this one in particular, it's a 10 karat heart. Now that's a pretty rare shape. It's not a round, it's not an emerald. The reason it's so rare is because for them to cut a heart, they have to lose that much more weight in the rough. So they could have gotten maybe a 12 karat round out of this, which would have netted them more money. But instead they cut a 10 karat heart. So it does give a little more value, you know, with the rarity of the fact that it's a heart. So I would love to talk about the setting on this thing, because this thing is insane. It's one of my favorite pieces that I've made. We talked about pink diamonds and how rare they are, right? It's all intense and vivid pink from Australia, Malay, that I sourced particularly especially for this ring. You have all of this extremely saturated pink diamonds. That's as pink as it's gonna get for a round diamond. And then you have these really cool shields. Really cool shields, matching shields, and then kind of that, like, Superman
and these
design.
Are the inner layer of that is pink.
That's the pink, and then you have the whites.
And
it's just a crazy ring. It's all platinum. It's super heavy.
It is heavy. It's it looks like a ring pop kind of. Not just the stone is certified by GIA. This is a certified GIA whole ring. So usually GIA certifies the stones, as seen with the large stack of all of each individual stone for the chain there.
This one, 3 different houses certified this piece. You have GIA, and then IGI, which is the second biggest, and then you have GGA, which is a GIA gemologist who also took a look at this piece and did a workup. So you have 3.
They had the appraised
value.
The appraised value of all the pieces. The whole ring is certified, like as a pretty much, like, technically you could say a 1-of-1 GIA ring. Because they certified the whole ring as a ring itself and not just the stone. Most of the time you're just going to see the stones, if you even see the GIA certificate stones, because they're, you know, they cost a fair bit of money once you get the good ones.
They do.
To see a fully certified ring as a piece of jewelry and not a stone itself is very special, and would probably add to the value of somebody who's buying it, just because of how rare and interesting that type of certification is.
This one, they just wanted to make sure, they did a random test on one of the little pink diamonds. And just to make sure it's natural. Because with that kind of color saturation, you want to make sure it's natural. And then you have, this is for the rest of the ring, where they certify the ring is natural, the side stones are natural. For the white diamonds.
The comparison between a GIA certificate of the purplish pink diamond right here versus the entire GIA certificate on the heart shape. This GIA certificate, you open it up, and on the purplish pink, All it is the stone itself. All of the little things that make up the stone, its clarity, everything. The heart-shaped ring, you have the entire ring itself. You have the entire ring as a piece of jewelry and not just a stone.
Right.
So that's pretty special. Vivid pinks, those are
Yeah, so these are Australian vivid pink. That's the highest grade of pink you can get.
From the Argyle lines.
This is Argyle. Now, if you're going to buy let's say a 1 carat at this size, if it's Argyle, we're looking at 7 figures.
That's
for
wild.
1 caraters like this.
Yeah.
So.
It's crazy.
Yeah, pretty wild, right?
Yeah. For the research purposes, like the researchers have to know where the diamonds came from. The stuff that came from the Argyle mine, and they know it came from the Argyle mine, is more helpful for research than if you were to buy a diamond and to be like, oh, it came from somewhere. You know, because they kind of need the geological
the conditions. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they have to know what actually happened in the earth at that time.
Well, Argyle was special in the way that it produced diamonds, and that's why you have so many pinks, because it's that pressure and that kind of weird. I mean, everything in Australia gets a little weird, right? So, it's that weird sort of conditions, that very unique conditions that created those pinks. The most amount of pinks, which is still like a champagne's flute worth a year.
Yeah.
It's really nothing. If you think about it in the grand scheme of things. Buy what you like, always. Buy what you like, and then also buy the best. Yeah. I mean, you generally, in most things in like the world, the people who buy like the best homes in the best locations, they killed it. It went way up. I live in LA, so it's like people who bought in Beverly Hills, 10, 20 years ago, are sitting on triple, sitting on 5 times, 10 times, whatever it is. You buy the best car, you buy that one of one, you buy that special car. Same with jewelry. You're gonna buy the best. You're gonna buy that blue diamond. You're gonna buy that pink diamond. You're gonna buy that red or the green or whatever it is.
And good qualities of those.
Right, exactly.
You can have pinks or whatever.
Exactly. You can buy pinks that are super included. Generally, pink is actually, it's funny that you mentioned that. So like pink, unlike other diamonds, tend to be actually more included because of that extra pressure. So for us, like an SI pink is like a VVS. It's like a VVS white. So like an I1 or an I2 pink is very much a sought after item. So that's like getting like a VS2 white. It's like a very much sought after item. So it's kind of the levels to it. But on the flip side, for example, blue, you want high clarity.
Okay.
Because blues should be high clarity based on the way they're formed. It means there's maybe something wrong if they're lower clarity. So it depends on the color. Certain color reds, I1 red, jump on it. Get it right now.
Oh yeah.
But I1 blue, don't touch it. It's funny how that is. It's just like different things. Yeah.
They're gonna be very happy with it. Client is gonna be very happy with the stuff that they purchased.
Oh yeah.
Just very rare, cool stuff. Just being able to see it, be hands-on with it, make videos like this, do stuff like that, is a pleasure because it's just something you don't see very often. Pretty cool. Hope you guys had a good time checking these out because they're fun.
Yeah.
And the amount of GIA certificates, it's absolutely nutty.
It's over $10,000 worth of GIAs here.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That's
we got like into the five figures just of paperwork.
That's crazy. Just to have the paperwork done and everything. Not exactly like some of the value that it adds being a full GIA one of one piece. Not just the value that it adds there, but in what you actually have to pay to be able to certify them all.
Right. And months. It doesn't happen overnight. It takes time.
Yeah.
To get all these graded. They don't grade pink diamonds or fancy color diamonds quickly. They take their time. They test them. They can take months. So everything has at least 2. Everything has a GIA and a GIA like insurance appraisal. By like a GIA gemologist insurance appraisal. And then this one in particular also has an IGI, which is the international. And you'll see a lot of IGI. That's what Costco uses, actually. That's like the main one. They're a big company. They're huge. They're all over the world.
You really know exactly what you're buying with 3 certificates and a whole appraisal of everything.
Yep.